The cold air of Prague is thick with the weight of forgotten memories wrapped tightly in the cobbled streets and darkened alleyways. As you stand before the old well, its crumbling stone walls whisper faintly, beckoning you closer. The echoes of voices from long ago seem to hang in the air, their words barely more than a breath. They speak of things best left buried, of a manuscript that exists only in the shadows of this city's deepest corners. The monks, wise in their silence, once guarded it, and though their numbers have dwindled, their vigilance has not faltered. You can feel it now, the presence watching you from the darkened depths of the well, its call insistent, its pull undeniable. Do you feel the weight of the past upon you? The monk's whisper echoes in your mind, ancient and frail, yet commanding. Do you hear the words they left behind written in ink and blood? He sighs as though the air around him thickens. No soul is free once they take this path, for the manuscript is always listening. It always knows. He pauses for a moment, as if considering something far beyond your reach. But before you turn away, you must understand. There is a ritual, a safeguard, a way to ensure your soul is not consumed. Only by marking your presence with the old ways can you hope to survive the well's secret. His voice becomes a murmur, just beyond the edge of comprehension. Like, subscribe, and comment your location, your time, your fate. For you may find that what happens here may leave marks even on the living. You move closer to the well, your fingers brushing the moss-covered stones. It is not just water that lies within its depths, but something far older, far darker. The monk's voice is fragile but clear, now speaking directly of the manuscript. There are no words for it, no true name. It was never meant to be found, and yet, it calls. The manuscript in Prague's forgotten well, bound in shadows and ancient secrets, has always been waiting. It has claimed many before you, leaving nothing behind but echoes. His voice drifts with sorrow, as though his very existence is tethered to the manuscript's whispers. Now, let us turn the first page. The monk's voice trembles as he recounts the first whispers of the manuscript, those dark murmurs that first beckoned seekers from across distant lands. It began, as all things do, with a single, unremarkable moment. He whispers, his tone slipping into the murmur of forgotten prayers. A scholar, long lost to time, found a cryptic passage in a manuscript hidden deep within the monastery's ancient library. A passage about a well, hidden under Prague's cobbled streets, said to house something far beyond mortal understanding. His breath catches, the air growing heavy with the weight of secrets that have yet to be uncovered. No one knew how it was connected, but the manuscript's message was clear. The well was no mere spring of water, but a gateway to knowledge not meant for human minds. The chill in the air deepens, thick with the oppressive silence of the forgotten past. The monks tried to silence it. The monk continues, the sorrow in his voice palpable. They buried the manuscript. They cast spells to ward it away, yet it always returned, finding its way into the hands of those who dared to seek its truths. His voice becomes almost reverent, laced with awe and dread in equal measure. There are those who believe the manuscript was not merely written by human hands, but guided by something else, something older still. A force, perhaps, that existed long before man's first step on this earth. The manuscript calls to those who are willing to listen, pulling them into its grasp, one page at a time. The monk speaks of a hidden ritual, an ancient practice whispered about in hushed tones among those few who still guard the well's secrets. In the deepest chambers of the monastery, he breathes, his voice growing faint. There is an incantation, a spell that binds those who would seek the manuscript. The ritual is simple yet dangerous. Blood and ink must be mixed, a hand must be marked, and the name of the seeker must be written. And once the name is inscribed, there is no turning back. He pauses, as if lost in his own thoughts, before adding, "The ritual is old, far older than any of us. The manuscript," he claims, "is not simply a book, but a living thing. Its pages thirst for knowledge, its ink seeks to bind souls. And once bound, the reader is no longer their own. It is said that the manuscript holds power over time itself, the monk whispers, a secret locked in its pages that even the most learned scholars have failed to decipher. And yet, he trails off, as though the mystery he alludes to is too much for even him to bear. It calls still, and no one has truly discovered what it wants or why it seeks those who are foolish enough to heed its summons. And so the well remains, its depths an eternal question, its voice a call to all who dare approach. The monk's voice quivers as the ancient words of the manuscript rise from his memories, each syllable etched into his very soul. There are no easy answers to the manuscript's origins, he whispers, as if afraid the very act of speaking might unravel the fragile line that holds the truth. Some say it was written by the first of the scholars, those who sought the knowledge of the heavens and the stars. Others claim it was forged in the fires of a lost civilization, where knowledge was exchanged for power, a power that few can comprehend, much less wield. His breath shudders, a sound lost in the echo of his own musings. But the truth is far darker than any of them would dare to imagine. The words grow softer, the monk's voice slipping into a lower murmur, laced with dread. The first time the manuscript was truly uncovered, it was in the hands of a scholar who thought himself invincible. His name has been lost to time, erased from history, as all those who seek the manuscript eventually are. But his mistake was that he did not understand the danger in its pages. He did not see the price of knowledge, or the cost of unlocking the powers within the manuscript's ink. His voice trembles, the sorrow in it palpable, as though this scholar's fall is something the monk has witnessed himself. He sought to translate its words, to reveal its mysteries to the world, unaware that every word he spoke would bind him deeper to its dark embrace. Every word spoken from the manuscript's pages ripples through time. The monk continues, his voice now barely above a whisper, as though sharing a secret meant for none but you. Its words are not like those of ordinary texts. They do not simply tell a story or convey knowledge, they change the very fabric of reality around them. As the scholar read, he found himself altered, his mind splintered, his soul torn. What had once been a man of reason became a man of madness, driven by an insatiable thirst for more knowledge. The manuscript did not simply offer answers, it demanded them. The monk pauses, his words hanging in the air like a curse, as though he himself can still feel the weight of that first scholar's descent. The ritual, the blood and ink, they were not merely a safeguard, but a means of control, he murmurs. The manuscript's power grows as you read. It consumes you little by little until there is nothing left of the person you once were. His voice cracks with grief. The first scholar paid the price of his ignorance, but others have followed, some willingly, others drawn in by the whispers, and each one of them has vanished into the well. The air grows thick, oppressive with the weight of the manuscript's dark presence. The monk's voice is faint now, but you can still hear the terror in it. They say the manuscript is not the only thing buried in the well. There are those who believe the well itself is cursed, a place where the boundaries between life and death are thin, a place where the echoes of the manuscript's past readers still linger, trapped in its endless cycle. Some say that if you listen closely enough, you can hear them whispering their regrets. They speak of the knowledge they sought, the price they paid, but those who listen too long, they too are lost. A cold wind sweeps through the chamber as the monk falls silent, his breath slow and labored, and yet the manuscript waits. It calls to those who think they can control it, but they are wrong. No one can control the well. No one can control the manuscript. He sighs, as though he has finally resigned himself to the truth. It is not meant to be understood. It is meant to consume. The monk's voice falters as he recalls the ancient ritual, the dark practice whispered about among the few who still tend to the well's curse. There are ways to shield yourself, he whispers, though the words feel like a desperate plea rather than a statement of hope. But these safeguards, and they are fragile, frail, like threadbare cloth against a storm. Once the manuscript has marked you, you are bound to it. No ritual, no incantation can sever that tie. You will remain like those who came before you, tethered to the depths. His tone grows quieter, barely audible, as though he fears to speak of it too clearly. But those who are foolish enough to seek the manuscript's true power, they will find that the well has secrets within secrets, and these rituals are only the beginning. The monk shifts, his voice now trembling with a fear that transcends time. There is one ritual that must be performed if you are to enter the well. It is a rite of passage of sorts, a way to bind your essence to the manuscript's will without succumbing entirely. The ritual is old, older than the monastery, older than the well itself. It involves blood, ink, and a single word. This word is the key, the bond. Without it, you will be lost. The monk's breath hitches, and for a long moment you hear nothing but the soft, chilling echo of his words. The word, it is known only to a few, and to speak it is to bind yourself to the will of the manuscript. Once the blood is spilled, he continues, the words falling from his lips as though they are drawn out by some unseen force. Once the ink is prepared, and once the word is spoken, there is no turning back. You will be marked, and the manuscript will know you. The well will open itself to you, and you will see things that no mortal mind was ever meant to comprehend. His voice grows darker, full of regret, yet there is something in his tone, something that seems almost like longing. You will hear the whispers of those who have come before you, trapped in the manuscript's endless cycle of knowledge and decay. They will speak to you, offer you more secrets, more power. But know this, the price is steep, and once paid, there is no returning to the life you once knew. He falls silent for a moment, his breath catching in his chest, before he continues, voice tight with the weight of the truth. The ritual binds the soul, it offers protection, but it is fragile, temporary. The well demands its due, and once the manuscript calls, you must answer. There is no other choice. He lets out a breath, heavy with sorrow. And what you find in the depths of that well will change you forever. The air grows heavy, the silence, oppressive as the monk's words hang in the space between you. The cold of the stone walls, the musty air of the forgotten well, all seem to press in around you as if the very world itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to make a choice, one that can never be undone. But it is not only the ritual you must fear, the monk whispers, his voice growing distant. It is the manuscript itself. For even when you believe you have unlocked all of its secrets, even when you have read every page, you will find that the manuscript is not merely a book. It is a gateway to something far darker, something far older than anything you could have imagined. The cold wind swirls, and the monk's voice fades, leaving behind the lingering, oppressive silence of the well. It is waiting for you always, and once you enter, it will never let you leave. The monk's voice now comes in sharp, fragmented whispers, as though the very act of speaking strains his spirit. There was once a man, a monk of pure heart, who believed the manuscript could be tamed, understood, and kept from its malevolent grasp. His name is forgotten, lost in the depths of time. But his fate, it lingers. He shudders, as though reliving some deep personal agony. He took the manuscript into his hands, believing that through faith he could defy its will, that through prayer and vigilance he could shield himself from the corruption that swirled within its pages. But even the purest heart cannot withstand the well's whispers for long. The monk pauses, his breath shallow, his words trembling as he recounts the fall of this once devout guardian. He stood watch over the manuscript day and night, praying fervently, hoping that his faith would shield him. But the well has a way of twisting things, of creeping into the minds of those who seek to understand it. His voice falters, barely a whisper. The manuscript, you see, it does not merely give knowledge, it takes, it demands, and it feeds on the very soul of its reader. Over time, he continues, each word dragging from him with an effort, the monk's thoughts became clouded. His prayers became desperate, scattered, and without focus. He started hearing voices. At first, they were faint, like a breeze rustling through the trees, but they grew louder, demanding, coaxing, calling him to read further, to unlock more secrets hidden within the manuscript's ink. The monk's tone becomes heavy with regret. The voices, they are not of this world. They are the voices of those who have read, those who have been consumed. And once you hear them, once you listen, you are no longer your own. He grows silent for a moment, the weight of his tale suffocating the space between you. Then, with a faint exhalation, he continues. The monk's fall was inevitable. The manuscript was more than a book. It was a parasite, a thing of malevolent intelligence capable of twisting the heart and mind of any who dared read it. The more he read, the more he fell into the thrall of its power. And when he reached the final page, he was no longer the man who had first touched it. The monk's voice drops to a near whisper. The last time anyone saw the monk, he was standing at the edge of the well, staring into its depths. His eyes were empty, hollow, as if the manuscript had taken all that was left of him, his soul, his purpose. Some say he threw himself into the well, others say he was taken by unseen hands, but the truth, I fear, is far worse. He did not die. No, he became part of the well, part of the manuscript, and now, his voice is one of many that echoes from the darkness. A chill settles over you, the weight of the monk's words pressing down on your chest. And this, the monk's voice trembles, is the price of knowledge. Once you listen, once you begin the journey, there is no turning back. The manuscript devours everything. It strips away your identity, your soul, until there is nothing left but an empty vessel, ready to be filled with its whispers. The silence in the room is deafening, the air thick with the sense of impending doom. The monk's tale has come to an end, but the fear in his voice lingers, curling in the corners of your mind like the well's dark embrace. You can feel the weight of the manuscript's presence, watching, waiting for you to make your move. And as you listen to the monk's fading breath, you realize that the path you're on may be more treacherous than you could have ever imagined. The monk's breath quickens, and his voice drops into a fragile murmur, barely audible, as though even speaking these truths drains the very life from him. There is another story, one whispered only in the darkest corners of the monastery, where no light dares to venture. His words hang in the air, heavy and filled with dread. It is a tale not often shared, for it speaks of a forbidden vow, a vow taken by the very first seeker of the manuscript's secrets. This vow, it binds you irrevocably to the well and to the manuscript. You can hear the monk's trembling fingers brush the pages of his own memories, as though he is reaching for a ghost. This seeker, a man of great ambition, sought not only the knowledge contained within the manuscript, but something more. He wished to master its power, to control the well itself, to be its master rather than its servant. He believed that by making a vow, a sacred promise to the manuscript, he could bend it to his will. The monk sighs deeply, his voice laced with sorrow. But there is no power in the well that can be controlled. The manuscript, it is not meant to be controlled. The air grows colder as the monk recounts the moment of the vow. The seeker, in his arrogance, stood before the manuscript and swore an oath that he would dedicate his life, his soul, to the pursuit of its knowledge. He promised to serve it, to become its eternal guardian in exchange for the power to command its secrets. But the manuscript, it does not give. It takes. His voice cracks as he recalls the fate of this first vow-bound seeker. Once the vow was spoken, once the words were sealed with blood, there was no escape. He became a vessel for the manuscript's will, bound to it forever, his very essence entwined with the cursed pages. The monk pauses as if haunted by the memory of what he is about to say. He thought he had mastered it. He believed that by giving his soul to the manuscript, he could control it, keep its darker powers at bay. But in doing so, he became part of it, and in the manuscript in turn became part of him. The monk's voice falters, and you can feel the weight of his words as if they are a warning. The seeker's body withered away, his flesh decayed, but his mind remained trapped within the manuscript, bound to the very pages he had sworn to control. The monk's voice drops even lower, as though the air itself is listening in. It is said that if you venture into the well, if you listen closely enough, you can hear him still. His whispers are faint at first, like a breath on the wind, but they grow louder the closer you come. His soul, trapped in the pages, cries out for release, but it cannot be freed. He is a part of the manuscript now, a prisoner to its will. The silence in the room is suffocating, the very walls of the well seeming to close in around you. The vow, the monk whispers. It is more than just words. It is a binding of the soul, a trap that cannot be undone. Once you make it, you belong to the manuscript. Your mind, your body, your very spirit, all are claimed by it, consumed by the darkness within. His voice trembles with the weight of the warning, each syllable hanging in the air like a chain. No one who has made this vow has ever returned. No one who has entered the well has ever emerged unscathed. The manuscript consumes everything, and those who seek it, who seek to control it, they are lost forever. You feel the weight of the monk's words press upon you, the fear in his voice seeping into your bones. The vow is a trap, a curse hidden within the manuscript's dark promise. It offers power, but at what cost? The very soul is at stake, and the well with its ancient whispers waits for those foolish enough to make the sacrifice. The fear of the unknown, of what lies within the manuscript's pages, gnaws at you. And though you know the price may be too high, the call of the well, the call of the manuscript is impossible to ignore. The monk's voice drops into an unsettling silence, and for a long moment you wonder if the weight of his words has left him exhausted, or perhaps if he himself is lost in the labyrinth of the manuscript's curse. There is another chapter to the story, he says, his voice strained, as if the mere recollection of it pulls something deep within him. It was not the vow alone that caused the well to claim so many souls. His breath falters as he speaks, and you feel the ancient fear in his words, the same fear that haunts the very air around the well. It was the rebellion, the defiance of those who came after the first seeker, those who believed that the manuscript could be defeated, those who believed that they could escape its grasp. You hear him shift, his words now tinged with something darker, as though recounting an ancient war long forgotten. The first rebellion began with a group of scholars, men of reason and faith, who sought to break the manuscript's hold. They knew of the curse of the vow that bound the soul, but they believed that the manuscript's power was not indomitable. They believed that with enough intellect, with enough study, they could decipher the manuscript's riddles and unlock the key to its power, without succumbing to the madness it offered. His voice hardens with the intensity of this defiance. They were wrong. The monk's tone trembles with a mix of awe and dread. The scholars uncovered a ritual, one hidden deep within the manuscript's pages, a ritual that promised to break the manuscript's hold on those it had claimed. They believed it would free the souls trapped within, release them from the grip of the manuscript's dark force. But as they performed the ritual, something shifted. The ritual, rather than breaking the manuscript's hold, unleashed something far worse. He lets out a sigh, the kind of sigh that seems to carry a century of sorrow with it. The well itself, it was not just a storage place for the manuscript. It was a vessel, a containment. And when the ritual was completed, the vessel cracked. For a long moment, silence fills the space, and you can almost feel the weight of the monk's words press down on you as though they are chains. The ritual, the rebellion, it opened the floodgates to something darker, something older than the manuscript itself. The voices of those who had been consumed began to merge, to form something new, something that existed in the well, beneath the manuscript, something that had been waiting all along. The monk's voice shakes as he speaks of it, as though even the thought of it disturbs him. Some say it was a force, a shadow that had always been beneath the well, its existence hidden by the manuscript's veil. Others believe it was a manifestation of the manuscript's own power, an entity that had grown from the countless souls it had consumed. He draws a shaky breath before continuing. The scholars, in their arrogance, unleashed something that they could not understand. What they sought to control, they had no power over. And as the rebellion faltered, as the ritual collapsed, They realized too late the true horror they had unleashed. The well began to overflow with the souls of the lost, their form shifting, merging with the dark forces that had always lingered beneath. The scholars did not survive. His voice quivers with the horror of it. The well became a doorway to something beyond this world, a place where time and space twisted, where the boundaries between life and death were no longer clear. The monk pauses, his words barely a whisper. And the manuscript, it was no longer just a book. It became something far worse. A gateway for the shadows to pour through, feeding on the souls of those who came too close. He lets out a final defeated sigh. No one who has attempted to break the curse of the manuscript has ever returned. They are all lost, consumed by the well, merged with the darkness that now resides there. The silence grows thick, oppressive. The monk's voice weakens, as if the mere recounting of these horrors has drained him further. And now, he whispers, you must decide. The manuscript's power is greater than any of us could ever have understood. It is not simply a book. It is a gateway, a portal to something that was never meant to be revealed. And once you enter, once you allow it to touch your soul, you too will be bound to it. The well will claim you, as it has claimed all the others before you. The air around you grows heavy, the presence of the well pressing in like an ancient unseen force. The rebellion failed. The manuscript is more powerful than we knew. And now you must choose whether to step into the darkness and risk becoming yet another lost soul, or to walk away and leave the well behind. As his voice fades into the silence, you realize that the choice before you is more than just a decision. It is a final turning point, a path that will lead you either to the deepest recesses of forbidden knowledge, or into the cold embrace of the unknown. The monk's voice returns, slower now as though dragging itself from the depths of his own suffering. I know the weight of what I am telling you, he breathes, each word wrapped in the tremor of centuries-old fear. It is not just the manuscript that awaits you. It is the shadows that dwell in its pages. He pauses, a sound in his throat like the echo of something long buried. It is said that the manuscript itself is not merely a vessel for knowledge. It is a trap, a means by which the well seeks to claim those who come too close, to pull them into the abyss beneath the city. And those who read from its pages, those who seek to decipher its secrets, are forever marked by its dark will. The monk's voice falters as he speaks of the ancient belief, the one whispered only in secret among the last surviving monks, that the manuscript was not created by human hands at all. There are some who believe that it is the work of the Dark Ones, he whispers, as though saying the name would summon something far worse than any curse. The beings that existed long before mankind, beings whose names have been erased from history. They crafted the manuscript as a means to bind the souls of the living, to tether them to the well and to its power. His voice drops lower, so low it is almost inaudible. And once a soul is bound to the well, it cannot escape, not in life, not in death. The air grows heavy as the monk continues, each word laced with an ancient sorrow. You see, the manuscript is not simply a book of knowledge. It is a key, a portal to a realm beyond our understanding. A realm where the laws of time and space cease to matter, and where those who fall into its embrace are lost forever. He shudders. Some say that those who read the manuscript's final page, who truly unlock its secrets, are given the power to see beyond the veil. They can glimpse the shadows that lie beneath our world, the forces that shape existence itself. You feel a coldness seep into your bones as the monk's voice grows distant, as though he is speaking not to you, but to something in the darkness. But it is not a gift. No, it is a curse. For those who gaze into the depths of the manuscript's truth are forever bound to it, their souls trapped in its infinite cycle of knowledge and decay. The well does not merely consume the body, it consumes the very essence of a person, leaving behind only a shadow of what they once were. He lets out a breath, his voice growing quieter still, as if each word is a confession he can barely bear to speak. The truth of the manuscript is that it does not simply record knowledge. It feeds upon the seeker. It takes their thoughts, their memories, and it twists them, reshaping them into something dark, something unrecognizable. The monk pauses for a long, painful moment. The manuscript's true power is not in the knowledge it offers, but in the way it binds you, corrupts you, until you are nothing but a vessel for its darkness. A long silence hangs in the air, the monk's words lingering like a curse. And it is here, in the depths of the well, that the manuscript waits. It calls to you, to those who are willing to give up everything in exchange for its forbidden knowledge. But know this: once you enter, once you turn that first page, there is no turning back. The well will claim you, body and soul. The monk's breath catches in his throat, and for a moment, he seems to struggle for words. There are those who believe that the manuscript is a living thing, that it grows with every reader, that it feeds on the souls of the damned and the desperate. They say it calls to those with the most to lose, those who seek answers, those who desire power. And once it has you, there is no escape. You become part of the well, part of the darkness that resides within it. His voice grows faint, a whisper in the shadows. But there is a deeper mystery, one that has eluded all who have tried to solve it. Some say that the well is not just a place of decay, but a place of rebirth, a place where the souls of the lost are transformed, reshaped into something new. But what that transformation entails, none can say. It is a mystery that even the manuscript itself refuses to reveal. The monk's voice fades, leaving you with the unsettling silence of the well. You must choose now. The manuscript is waiting, and so is the well. His final words are barely a breath, but they hang in the air like a final warning. Once you take that step, there is no return. The shadows will claim you, and you will become a part of its endless cycle. The coldness of the well seems to reach out, its darkness pressing in from all sides. And yet, despite the warnings, despite the terror that coils in your chest, you feel an irresistible pull, a call to delve deeper to learn the truth. The manuscript's whispers grow louder, and you know that whatever decision you make, it will change you forever. The monk's breath catches again, a faint wheeze that seems to come from somewhere deeper than mere exhaustion. His voice, when it returns, is barely a whisper, yet it seems to resonate with the weight of all that has been said before. There is no rest for those who have sought the manuscript, he murmurs. No peace, no solace. The sound of his voice seems to echo in the stillness of the chamber, mingling with the creeping silence that fills the room. The manuscript is not just an object, not simply a book or a text. It is a presence, a hunger, a thing of endless yearning. And once it binds you, it does not let go. The monk's words slip into the realm of mystery now, as though he himself is losing his grip on reality. It is said that the manuscript, over the centuries, has transformed. What it was, when first bound, is no longer what it is. It has grown corrupted. The voices you hear when you read its pages are not just echoes of the past, but the living remnants of those who sought its knowledge. Their souls, trapped and twisted within its ink, cry out for release, but they cannot be freed. His voice falters, and you feel the weight of his words bearing down on you. And those who attempt to free them, those who think they can control what is buried in the well, they become part of that cycle. They are swallowed whole, and their essence becomes just another voice in the manuscript's endless chorus. Deep, unsettling silence stretches between his words, and for a moment, you feel the heavy weight of what he is saying, that the well is more than just a physical place. It is a nexus, a center of unrelenting darkness feeding on the minds and souls of those who approach it. They say the manuscript, it does not just contain knowledge. It contains a map to the deepest recesses of the human soul. The monk continues, each word laced with a sense of creeping terror. The well knows you. It knows your weaknesses, your desires. It draws you in with promises of answers, of power, of understanding that would free you from the limitations of your mortal form. But once you look into it, once you step into the manuscript's grasp, you are changed forever. The knowledge it offers is not salvation. It is corruption. The monk shudders, as though he can still feel the weight of the curse pressing down upon him. There is a mystery, a truth hidden within the manuscript that none have yet uncovered. Some believe that if you decipher the final pages, if you unlock the last secret, you will be granted unimaginable power, the ability to transcend mortality itself. He pauses, a tremor in his voice. But there is a price far too high for any mortal to pay. For the last page, it is said to be the doorway to something else, something far older, far darker, a being that existed before time itself, waiting for those who are foolish enough to release it. The room feels colder, the shadows pressing in closer around you. I have seen the remnants of those who sought the final page, the monk whispers, his voice shaking. They are not dead, not truly. They exist, but they are no longer what they once were. The manuscript twists you, reshapes you, until there is nothing left of the person who first sought its secrets. You become a part of it, a part of the well's endless hunger. And the whispers, they will never stop. The voices of the lost, souls trapped within its pages, they will follow you, speak to you until you are consumed. The air feels thick with the monk's words, each one carrying the weight of a truth too horrifying to grasp. No one who has sought the manuscript has returned unchanged, he continues, his voice now barely audible. They are lost, swallowed by the darkness. And once you begin, there is no turning back. You will be bound to it, bound to the well, forever. You can feel the pull, the undeniable force that draws you deeper into the mystery. The well is waiting, its shadows growing longer, the whispers growing louder. And the manuscript that holds the key to all the secrets you have longed to uncover, is within your reach. But at what cost? The monk's voice, now barely more than a whisper, seems to fade into the air itself. The well, it is not a place of knowledge, it is a place of transformation. A place where the lines between life and death, between light and darkness, blur into nothing. If you choose to go further, know that you will never be the same. You will be part of the well, part of the manuscript. The silence stretches on, thick with the weight of the monk's warning. And the well, in the distance, seems to grow, darker still. The choice lies before you, a choice that will shape your soul for eternity. The monk's voice falters once more, as though his mind is losing its grip on the very words he must say. You must understand. The manuscript is not simply a book. It is a living, breathing thing, capable of growing and shifting, just as the shadows beneath the well shift and twist with the turning of the moon. His tone becomes strained, as though even speaking these truths causes him pain. It changes those who come into contact with it, bending their will, reshaping their very thoughts. The well does not just house the manuscript, it houses something far worse. The air thickens as he whispers, almost as if to himself. The well itself has been feeding, growing stronger with each soul it claims. He pauses, as though the weight of his words is too much for him to bear. Then in a breathless, trembling whisper, he speaks the unspoken. The well is alive. The weight of this revelation hangs heavy in the room, filling the space with a dread so thick it is suffocating. It is not merely the manuscript that calls to those who seek it, the monk continues, his voice a hushed rasp, barely audible. The well itself, it thirsts for something. It seeks the essence of those who dare enter its depths, and it will stop at nothing to claim it. His words become jagged, each one a sharp, painful truth. Those who descend into the well seeking knowledge become lost to it, their souls consumed, their spirits bound to the darkness beneath. The manuscript is the well's instrument. It speaks through it, directs it, and together, they twist the minds of those who fall into their grasp. A cold, creeping dread begins to settle deep within you, as if something unseen is wrapping itself around your very thoughts, threatening to pull you into the abyss. And once you enter the well, the monk whispers, you are no longer yourself. You are a part of the well, a part of the manuscript. Your mind will no longer be your own. It will be shaped by the darkness that resides within. The shadows of the lost souls will speak to you, guiding you, changing you. You will lose your identity piece by piece, until you are nothing but a shadow, a whisper in the darkness. The monk seems to struggle for breath, as though the very act of recounting this unspeakable truth is too much for him. The manuscript does not merely impart knowledge. It takes. It devours your very essence. It feeds on your fear, your desires, your regrets. It feeds on your soul until nothing is left but an empty vessel, a puppet in its hands. A deep, suffocating silence fills the room, and for a moment, you cannot tell if the monk has finished his tale or if he has simply run out of words. But then with great effort he continues. There are no escape routes, there are no safe havens. Once you step into the well, you are forever bound to it. The well knows you. It knows your fears, your weaknesses, and it uses them against you. It will twist your mind until you no longer know what is real and what is not. The manuscript will become your only truth. The voices of the lost souls will become your guides, your tormentors, and you will listen, helpless to stop them. You can feel the weight of his words in your chest. A heavy, inescapable truth that threatens to pull you into the very darkness the monk speaks of. Those who come to the well believing they can control it, believing they can master its secrets, are the first to be consumed. They are the most vulnerable. They are the ones who fall the hardest. The monk's voice trembles, filled with fear and a touch of sorrow. The manuscript and the well are intertwined. They are two halves of the same cursed whole. And there is no escaping their grasp once you enter. The well's grip is eternal, and the manuscript, its pages, are the key, the final key to your undoing. If you seek it, you will find it, but you will never leave it, not in body and not in soul. A long silence stretches between you, filled with the weight of what has been said. The cold air seems to press in tighter. The darkness of the well, feeling more real, more alive with every passing second. The monk's voice, now soft and haunted, barely rises above a breath. I tell you this not to deter you, but to prepare you. For the well, the manuscript, they are waiting. The darkness is patient. It waits for those who seek the forbidden, and when they arrive, it consumes them whole. He draws in a breath, as if the air itself is too thick to inhale. And once you have stepped into that darkness, once you have touched the manuscript, you will understand. The well's true purpose, the manuscript's true power. The monk lets out a final, trembling sigh. But it is a truth you may wish you had never known. In the silence that follows, you feel the pull of the well growing stronger. The darkness seems to reach for you, and the whispers grow louder, more insistent. It is not just a call. It is a command, a summons to an uncharted realm of knowledge and despair. And as the monk's voice fades, one final question lingers in your mind. Will you step into the well, or will you turn away, leaving its secrets buried forever? The monk's voice shakes with a finality that reverberates through the darkness, as if the words themselves are preparing to vanish into the very void he speaks of. You must understand, he whispers, barely audible now, that to read the manuscript is to accept a terrible truth, a truth that will unravel everything you thought you knew. The well, it does not just wait for the curious. It waits for those who cannot resist the pull, for those who believe they can survive its grip. His words seem to fade, but they linger in the air, heavy with dread. It is not enough to simply seek knowledge from the manuscript. You must offer something in return. Your very self, your very soul. You feel the coldness deepen as the monk's voice cracks, as though he too has lived this truth, felt its weight with every passing moment of his existence. Once the well claims you, once it marks you, you are no longer free. You belong to it, to the manuscript. You will no longer be able to tell where you end and where the well begins. You will be both, and neither, lost in a space that is neither life nor death. He pauses, and you can almost feel the years of pain behind his words. The manuscript is not a tool. It is a force that shapes you, reshapes you into something else. What was once you will no longer exist. A long silence stretches, the only sound the faint crackling of the fire, but the monk continues, though his voice is now barely more than a whisper in the stillness. There is a truth hidden in the manuscript that no one has ever understood. It is not just about power or knowledge, but about control. The control of time itself. His voice falters as though he's caught in a memory he cannot escape. Those who read it begin to unravel the fabric of reality. They see the threads that weave together the past, present, and future. But the more they see, the more they lose themselves in it. The well does not just consume their body or soul. It consumes their very essence, their perception of existence. The words grow darker still. As the monk's tone becomes laced with an anguish you can feel deep in your bones. And then, there is the final truth. The manuscript's true purpose is not to give answers, but to create questions. The deeper you go, the more you realize that there are no answers, only more questions. The well thrives on uncertainty, on confusion. It distorts your understanding of the world around you, twisting everything you once knew. The voices within it do not offer wisdom, they offer madness. The monk's voice weakens, a crack of sorrow threading through each word, as though he too is being pulled into the depths of this endless cycle. The manuscript is not a book, and the well is not a place. They are both gateways. Gateways to the true nature of existence. The well is a place where time and space are bent to the will of the manuscript. The manuscript is a doorway to a realm where the boundaries between life and death, past and future, begin to break down. Those who enter it, those who truly understand, it become part of that collapse. They become part of the manuscript's truth. A low, chilling sigh escapes the monk's lips. And once you are inside, you cannot leave. The manuscript is not a keeper of knowledge. It is a keeper of your soul. And the longer you stay, the more it takes from you. It consumes you until nothing remains but an echo, a whisper in the dark. For a long moment, the air grows impossibly still, and you feel the weight of the monk's final words settle over you. The truth of the manuscript, the truth of the well, feels more real now, more tangible. The dark pull of the well grows, stronger, as though it has heard the monk's confession and now awaits your response, your decision. But you know this already, the monk whispers, his voice suddenly faint, almost as if he is disappearing into the shadows. You've always known this. The manuscript calls to you because it knows you. It knows what you seek, what you desire. It offers you everything you have ever wanted, and yet in the end it takes everything you are. The silence grows thick, suffocating, and in the darkness, as the monk's words fade away, the cold emptiness of the well surrounds you. Now you must decide. Will you step forward deeper into the well, drawn by the promise of forbidden knowledge? Or will you turn away, leaving behind the curse, the darkness, and the unanswered questions? There is no easy answer, no safe path. The well and the manuscript are waiting, and you, like all those before you, will face the choice that will shape your fate for eternity. The monk's whisper fades into a silence so deep it feels as though the very air has been sucked away, leaving nothing but the oppressive weight of the well's gaze upon you. His words, heavy with the burden of ages, hang like an iron chain around your neck. The pull of the manuscript, the allure of the well is stronger now, its presence a constant pressure, urging you forward, beckoning you to step closer to the abyss. And yet in the stillness a voice, faint but undeniable, rises from within you, an echo of the monk's warning, a whisper of doubt. Do you understand now? The monk's voice seems to ask, distant but ever present. The well does not simply claim those who read the manuscript, it claims all who seek it. The well's darkness does not lie in its depths, it lies within the hearts of those who dare approach, those who believe they can control what is beyond their understanding. The manuscript is not just a keeper of knowledge, it is a mirror reflecting your deepest desires, your darkest fears. It shows you what you want to see, but it leaves you hollow, empty of everything else. The chilling reality of the monk's words settles over you, like a thick fog clouding your thoughts. The well, this cursed place, is not simply a physical location. It is a state of mind, a force that feeds on your very essence, on the core of your being. The manuscript, too, is no mere object. It is an anchor, a tether that binds your soul to the well, that binds you to the darkness. It is a seduction, one that promises answers but only delivers more questions, and with them, a price that none who have sought it have been able to pay. The monk's tone shifts, becoming darker still, his voice a brittle whisper in the dark. The well's power is not something that can be fought. It is not something that can be resisted. It seeps into your bones, your very spirit. The more you seek, the more it takes from you. What you think you understand now, what you believe you know will be twisted, turned on its head. You will no longer recognize yourself, not after the well has claimed you. No one who has entered has ever returned whole, and those who attempt to leave, they are the ones who become lost forever, part of the well's cycle. A cold shiver runs through you, the weight of the monk's words pressing down on your chest. Once you step into the well, he breathes, almost inaudible, you will become one with it. You will not just read the manuscript, you will become part of it. And in the end, you will realize that the manuscript was never about knowledge at all. It was about control. It was always about the darkness within you, the darkness within us all. The air feels heavier now, suffused with an almost tangible tension, as though the well itself is holding its breath, waiting for your next move. But even as I speak these words, the monk murmurs, his voice fragile, barely a sound, I know that you will not turn away. The well does not let go, and neither does the manuscript. It has already marked you. It knows you. It has always known you. The dark presence of the well seems to grow stronger, pulling at the edges of your awareness. The whispers, once distant, now press against your mind, their voices urgent, insistent. The promises it makes are intoxicating, but you know deep down that there is a cost, one far higher than you are willing to pay. But the call, the pull, it refuses to let go. It is as though the well has become part of your very being, a part of your thoughts, your desires, your will. The monk's voice trembles as he speaks the final truth. The well is not a place. It is a force that will change you forever. And once it has you, there is no returning. It is not the knowledge that consumes you. It is the desire to possess it, to control it, that brings you to your knees. And once you kneel, you are lost. His words are heavy, laden with the truth of 1,000 failed attempts to resist the well's pull. He falls silent for a moment, and the stillness grows thick and suffocating, as though the entire world is holding its breath. But even in this moment, the monk whispers, I know the truth. You are not free of it. You never were. And then, as if carried away on the wind, his voice fades. The room around you grows impossibly silent. The weight of the well's call presses in like an iron shackle around your chest. There is only one choice left. The well waits. The manuscript waits. And now, there is nothing left but to step into the abyss, or to turn away and forever live with the weight of the knowledge you will never possess. For the well will always wait. The manuscript will always call. And you must decide. The monk's voice has vanished, but the silence that follows is deafening, as if the world itself has held its breath. The air feels dense, suffused with an ancient unseen force that presses in on you from all sides. The well, its darkness, has become a presence in your mind, a weight on your very thoughts. You feel it, almost as if it is reaching for you, calling you to step forward, to descend into its depths and claim the secrets it promises to reveal. The whispers from the manuscript rise again, louder now, echoing in the silence like a maddening chorus. Do you hear them? The monk's voice seems to return, distant, but this time it is less of a warning than an acceptance. The voices of the lost souls, the ones who tried to resist, who thought they could master the well. You think you are different, but you are not. You are just like them, drawn to the manuscript's promise of power, of forbidden knowledge. His tone softens with an unsettling sorrow. And the well knows it. It has always known. The pull of the well is undeniable now. Each breath you take laden with its presence. The darkness seems to shift, moving, alive, as though it is waiting for your decision, for your next step. There is no turning back. Once you have come this far, the choice has already been made. Even if you have not fully understood it yet, you are already marked, already claimed by the whispers, already bound to the manuscript's call. The monk's voice flickers again, quieter now. You have two choices, but they are both the same. To turn away is to live forever in the shadow of your own fear, your own uncertainty. To step forward is to embrace the unknown, to surrender yourself to the well's dark embrace. Either way, you will never be the same. The well will change you. It will strip away the layers of your being, leaving you raw, exposed, and only when you stand there on the precipice will you realize how little of yourself remains. The monk falls silent, his presence fading, and yet you feel the weight of his words heavy in your chest, a burden you cannot shed. The well calls louder now. Its whispers a cacophony in your mind, a promise of answers, of truths that no mortal was ever meant to know. The manuscript, the final page, beckons with its dark promise. You can feel it in your very bones. This is the moment, the precipice, the decision that will shape the rest of your existence. Do you understand now? The monk's voice returns, but this time it is barely more than a whisper, as though he is speaking from a place far beyond you. The well is not a destination. It is a journey, one that consumes everything along the way. You will become part of it, part of the darkness that waits below. The manuscript will never let you go. It will twist you, break you, and remake you in its own image. And when you are lost in its depths, you will no longer remember what you were before. The darkness presses closer, thick with the weight of unseen eyes. The air seems to thicken, each breath a struggle, each thought a battle. The whispers grow, louder, more insistent, more familiar. The manuscript, its pages, its power are no longer distant. They are right there, just beyond your reach. The well is waiting, the shadows stretching out to envelop you, to pull you into their depths. One last thing. The monk's voice comes through, low, almost mournful. The well is not just a place of death. It is a place of rebirth. Those who enter are not destroyed. They are transformed. The manuscript does not take your soul. It reshapes it, molds it into something else, something more. But it is not what you think. You will not be you anymore. The monk's voice grows weaker, but there is a finality in his words. And once you are reshaped, once you become part of the manuscript, there will be no going back. The well has no mercy. It has no forgiveness. But it does offer one thing: the truth. The truth that no one has ever understood, and no one ever will. It is the final answer, the one truth that lies beneath all others. And with that final whisper, the monk's presence slips away, leaving you alone in the darkened chamber, the weight of his words lingering in the air. The well is still before you, its darkness beckoning, its whispers louder now, more urgent. You stand on the edge, the precipice before you, and feel the pull, the inevitable draw of the unknown. The manuscript waits, the well waits, and you must decide. Step into the depths of the well, embrace the transformation, and become part of something ancient, something beyond human understanding, or turn away, leaving the darkness behind, but knowing that you will forever carry the weight of what could have been. The choice is yours. The well is waiting. The manuscript is waiting. And in this moment, the truth will be revealed, whether you are ready for it or not. The silence in the room thickens, suffocating, as though the very air has become part of the well's grip, drawing you closer to its dark heart. The pull is undeniable, a force so ancient it feels as though it was always meant to happen, that your arrival here was no coincidence, no mere accident. You are part of the well's story now, just as all those who have come before you are part of it. Their whispers, their agony, their yearning, they fill the space, rising up like an ancient tide, urging you to step forward, to succumb. The darkness around you pulses alive, as though the well itself is breathing, drawing you in with its unfathomable hunger. You will never be the same. The monk's voice echoes, his words distorted now, barely a breath, but the meaning still hangs in the air like a curse. But remember, the manuscript does not simply consume. It transforms. It molds you into something else, something more. But whether that is salvation or damnation, that is the truth you must discover for yourself. A shiver runs through you, not from the cold of the air, but from the chilling realization that the well is not a place to merely visit. It is a place to become part of. The manuscript is no longer an object of curiosity or knowledge. It is a living entity, an extension of the well, and through it you are drawn into something far beyond the grasp of ordinary understanding. You can feel it now, the shift within yourself, the slow unspooling of your thoughts, your perceptions, as though the well has already begun to claim you, piece by piece. The shadows grow darker, thicker, as if they are alive, wrapping themselves around your mind, your heart, urging you to surrender. The whispers reach a crescendo, and with them, the truth becomes undeniable. There is no escaping the well, the monk had said. It will claim you, and in doing so, it will make you part of it. You will not be a mere reader of the manuscript. You will become its voice. You will become one of the lost souls forever whispering its dark truths into the ears of those who dare to listen. You feel your heartbeat quicken, not from fear, but from a strange compulsion, a need to understand, to know what lies beyond the veil. The manuscript calls to you now, not with promises, but with an insatiable demand. It has seen your deepest fears, your darkest desires, and it offers you the answers, the truths that have eluded you. It promises power, knowledge, transcendence, but at what cost? The pull of the manuscript is no longer a question. It is a certainty. The whispers, the voices of the lost souls are no longer distant. They are within you, speaking directly to your mind. Step forward, they urge. Claim your place. Know the truth. Embrace the transformation. And then, something shifts within you. A cold wave, as though the very fabric of your soul is being tested, stretched, pulled apart. The manuscript's call is no longer a promise of power. It is a certainty. It is a command. The well has reached inside you, touched your core, and now you feel its tendrils wrapping around your very being, drawing you into its depths. The darkness grows unbearable now, the weight of it pressing against your chest. Do not turn away, the whispers beckon. For once you do, you will carry the weight of this knowledge forever. You will live with the ache of unanswered questions, the longing for truths you will never understand. But if you step forward, if you embrace the manuscript and the well, you will find what you seek. A final moment of silence hangs in the air, the room heavy with anticipation, the darkness thick with the weight of the decision before you. The well is no longer just a place of darkness. It is a doorway, a portal into something far beyond what you ever imagined. And the manuscript? It is the key. The decision is before you. Step forward. Embrace the well, embrace the manuscript, and become part of the darkness. Or turn away, leaving behind the mystery, the promise, the knowledge, and live with the uncertainty that will haunt you forever. There is no easy path, no safe choice. The well waits for you, its call growing louder with each passing second. And, in the depths of the well, something stirs, something ancient, something alive. The truth at last is waiting. The moment hangs suspended, each breath a fragile thread, the choice before you heavier than any decision you've ever faced. The darkness of the well presses in, suffocating, all-encompassing. The pull is irresistible, and you realize, perhaps for the first time, that it is not merely the promise of knowledge that calls you forward. It is the deep, unspoken truth that you have always been seeking, the understanding that lies beyond the veil of human comprehension. It is not a truth to be learned from books or from fleeting glimpses. It is a truth that requires sacrifice, a truth that will consume all that you are, reshaping you into something else. The manuscript's whispers have become a constant presence in your mind, a low, insistent murmur that lingers like a song you cannot forget. You know what must be done. The voices call, now more unified, more insistent. You have heard the warnings. You have felt the weight of the decision. Yet you stand on the edge, unable to look away, unable to resist the truth that has always called to you. The manuscript is not just a text. It is a living force, and it has chosen you. It has seen your heart, your desires, your deepest fears, and now it draws you into its grasp. The shadows around you seem to shift, their movements echoing the growing turmoil within you. The well's call is louder now, undeniable. It is no longer just the allure of forbidden knowledge that tempts you. It is the fear of what will happen if you turn away. The weight of all that could be lost, the knowledge, the power, the very understanding of existence itself, presses down on you, crushing, relentless. The monk's voice comes again, distant but clear, like a final warning from the depths. To embrace the manuscript is to embrace the darkness, to become part of its endless cycle. You will not leave as you came. There is no going back from this. The well does not release those who enter. You will be bound to it, bound to the manuscript, forever. But in return, you will know what no other has known. You will understand the mysteries that lie beyond life and death, beyond time itself. The weight of his words is heavy, but something inside you stirs. A part of you, the part that has always sought the unknown, that has always desired to peer into the abyss, feels a strange pull. The manuscript, the well, it is not just a place of danger. It is a place of transformation. A place where you can shed the limitations of your mortal form and ascend to something beyond. But what you will become, what you will lose, that is a truth you cannot yet understand. The choice is made, even if it is not a choice at all. The manuscript is no longer just an object. It is a living, breathing entity that has woven itself into your soul. The well is no longer just a place. It is a portal to the unknown, and you, like those before you, are now part of it. You step forward, the darkness swallowing you whole, the whispers of the manuscript guiding you deeper into its depths. The air grows colder still, the weight of centuries pressing in around you. You feel yourself being drawn in, pulled into the abyss, as though you are no longer a separate entity, but a part of the well, a part of the manuscript's eternal cycle. The final page of the manuscript is no longer a mystery. It is not an end, but a beginning. The whispers grow louder now, their voices mingling with your own thoughts, your own desires, until they become one. The manuscript speaks to you, and in that moment you understand. This is the truth you have sought. This is the price of knowledge. To step into the well, to embrace its darkness, is to become part of something far older, far greater than you could have ever imagined. You are no longer yourself, but something more, something beyond the human realm, bound to the manuscript, bound to the well. And as the darkness closes in, as the final whispers fade into nothingness, you realize that there is no escape. There is only the manuscript, only the well, and you, forever bound to its eternal cycle. The truth is known, but it is a truth that will never be fully understood. For to understand it is to become part of it. The well has claimed you. The manuscript has consumed you. And now, there is only one thing left: to become one of the lost souls, forever whispering its dark secrets into the void. And so the darkness closes in around you, the manuscript's call echoing in your mind, and you realize with chilling clarity, there is no turning back. There never was. The whispers fade into the distance, swallowed by the ever-expanding abyss. The final page of the manuscript, now irrevocably turned, is no longer a mystery. It is your reality. You feel the pull of the well's darkness, its unseen hands guiding you deeper into the folds of its consuming embrace. The knowledge once so tantalizing is now an insatiable hunger, filling every corner of your mind with forgotten truths and unanswerable questions. As the shadows close in, you can feel the transformation taking hold. You are no longer yourself, not in the way you once were. You are part of something ancient, something that predates time itself.
The well has reshaped you, molded you into one of the lost souls who now whisper from its depths. Your voice joins the others, and you realize that you have become one with the manuscript, bound to its eternal cycle, its endless hunger for more.
Seekers, more souls to consume. But there is no sorrow in this realization. There is only the understanding that you are now part of something much greater than yourself. The well has always existed, and it will continue to exist, forever drawing those who seek its forbidden knowledge. The manuscript, too, will continue to call, its whispers reaching out to those who dare listen, drawing them into its depths. The silence is profound, yet filled with the faint hum of 1,000 souls, each lost to the well, each forever intertwined with the manuscript's dark power. You have joined them now, and though the world outside may continue, in this place time has no meaning. There is only the eternal whisper, the endless call of the manuscript, and the souls who will never be freed. If your candle hasn't gone out yet, you might be ready for the next book. There are more books. There are always more.